The following video is brought to you by the guys at the Wrecking and Racing Podcast, a NASCAR podcast made by the fans for the fans. Check them out at www.wreckingandracing.com, facebook.com/Wrecking and Racing, and Twitter at Wrecking and Racing. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. And it's the last race in the round of 12 here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Brandon with a win in the early round. My win last week with Talladega ensures we are going to be in the round of 8. Can one of the other Chase drivers win this week and lock themselves into the round of 8? Or is it going to be myself or Brandon? We have about 27 laps to find out. We're rolling off of turn 4 here. Pace car is about to duck off. Brandon, of course, sporting the Wrecking and Racing NASCAR podcast colors there right in front of us. Green flag is about in the air, and, well, anytime, green, green, green. All right, right on the back bumper of Brandon, we can see him pushing the bottom line, and it looks like William Byron is on the pole, or at least, was on the pole. Brandon fighting back on the low line. Alex Bowman seems to drift up a bit. We have Chase Elliott to our outside. We'll clear him off of turn 2. Yellow flag is out. I don't know exactly what happened, but we had nothing to do with that. Let's see if we can race back to the line here. We'll get under Byron, slide up just a bit. Let's see if we can get the run off the turn here. Race Brandon back to the line, to the apron here. And I don't know if we got him or not. Yeah, looks like some trouble into turn 1, lap 1. So if any Chase drivers were in that, that's going to be huge. But it's way too early to pit, so we'll catch up to the pace car and be right back with you. Pace car is off, getting ready to go back green. Matt DiBenedetto on our inside. It looks like he was the one with issues. Green flag should be in the air here shortly. Green, 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 back up to speed. Maybe DiBenedetto can do some blocking on the bottom, and we just plain left DiBenedetto in the dust. It's not going to block Brandon looking to the inside there. We got to lead some laps, which is always good. Carrying that momentum from Talladega as best we can. Kansas is a pretty fun racetrack, a little bit slick, but not too bad. Definitely not as bad as, say, Kentucky is. Oh, we're washing out just a little bit, giving that bottom line to Brandon. It looks like he's going to clip the apron just a bit and get back up on the racetrack. So we will hold the point for now. Pit stop will probably come at about the halfway mark, lap 13 or so. We want to keep as fresh tires on there as possible. And it kind of looks like we're gapping them. The car is starting to get a little tight in and loose off, which is a common ailment for the cars for sure. You put so much wheel into it to try to get the car to turn that when the car does bite, it snaps around. We're rolling the second to third groove there, carrying all that speed off the straightaway. I really don't think that we can hit the bottom and hold the white line, and really no need for us to. Some cars coming off pit road there. Saw Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch on pit road. So if that was their pit stop for the day, then definitely short pitting. They're trying to make up time on the track with fresh tires. But if I'm honest, we haven't been racing long enough to really feel the difference in fresh tires as opposed to 4 or 5 lap old tires. So we'll stay out for now. keep that good run. If we win today, it really doesn't matter. We won Talladega, so this is basically just for bragging rights and wins. Our highest finishing position for the round will be first, and obviously there can't be 7 winners today. And we're really, really pushing up the track. Brandon gets to the bottom. He'll be on the inside. And I don't really see any lap traffic in our mirror here. Let's see if we can fight back on the outside, maybe pinch him down to the bottom a bit. See if we can carry that momentum off. He's still down there, but I think we pulled him off the 4th turn. We may have led that lap, but he's still down there fighting hard. Let's see how hard he drives into turn 1. He can't go in that hard. We can go in a little bit harder. If we can pick up the throttle earlier, we can get down the back straightaway side by side. Really good racing with myself and Brandon. We rarely get to race this close. So Brandon to the points, and as my situation, it really doesn't matter if he wins this race or not. It's just bragging rights since he won the first race of the round. And so far, so good. So we'll settle in right here, keep within a stone's throw. There's still pit stops to go through. Still something might happen on pit road, and he is scraping on turn 1 entry. He's driving it in a lot harder than us, so his tires may be getting a little bit warm. But looking at our mirror, we only have one car that's really pressuring us from behind. As pit stops decide to close in, we should be fine. Should be fine indeed. Getting a good run here off the bottom. We're going to make up a lot of ground here. Brandon didn't get off of turn 4 as well as he would have liked. We're going to be right back on the back bumper. And this kind of has the feeling of races that have happened this year. Brandon out front, me in second, and then lap traffic may get in the middle of us both and split us, and he'll be able to get through traffic better than I can, and I might lose touch with the lead. So I'm going to stay as close as I can to him here before pit stops. He did qualify in front of me, so strategically speaking, it would be better if he gets on pit road before me so he doesn't have to drive around, or I don't have to drive around him. We can just go into pit road as normal, as we are now. It kind of looks like that's Kyle Larson behind us, but I can't really see who is running in third here. We lost a lot of ground in that turn. The car is starting to push up just a touch. It's not gripping as well as it was in the earlier part of the run. I'll roll out of the throttle much earlier than I'm used to and see if we can pick up that throttle again. We sort of maintain that lap. No one behind us is catching us, so this is sort of where we're running. Lap traffic is not a factor as of yet, although I would think with those cars coming off pit road, either they did not get the benefit of the new tires, or they were just so slow that even new tires are not going to help them, the likes of Kurt Busch. And pit road this time, and that was William Byron. Almost got into us, so Chase Elliott and William Byron will go around, and that's a cluster for the lead up there, and we will be right on Brandon's rear bumper here. So strategy, if it plays out, we want this race to go green the rest of the way because we'll be a lap down here shortly. And of course, if we were to be pinned a lap down, there is no wave around rule in this particular game. And hit the pit stalls here. 4 tires and fuel, boys. Here we go. Right sides are on, left sides are on. Let's drop the jack. We're a lap down now. Let's get back up to speed. Brandon had a similar pit stop. We're right behind him. He almost lost it coming off of pit road there. Yeah, as long as we can stay right in his tire tracks when we blend up, we'll be fine. Looking at the track, we've got plenty of blending available for us, so we don't have to worry about getting pinched down by lappers. And as per usual, we need to look out for any AI that decide to pit. I don't know if the AI are going to be on a split race strategy where they're going to cut the race directly in half, or are they going to try to extend this as far as they can and maybe take a 2-tire stop? We will see. But around the 72 here, and I believe that one is actually 4 position. We'll figure it out. We'll cycle back through here. Maintaining through here. Lap traffic is definitely going to be a thing. We need for the leader to hit pit road so we can get back on the lead lap. And here, cars look to be coming to pit road. We're going to look to the outside. No, they are just that slow. Cut to the bottom here under the 33 of Jeffrey Earnhardt, using the apron as much as we can. Brandon up top 3 wide. Brandon will probably sing around the outside groove. And yeah, he's up by the wall, but he did lose some time. So that battle was indeed for the perspective lead once everything shakes out. So now it is up to us to slash through lap traffic. And the 34 of Michael McDowell is the first one here. And the 10 of Al Mirola. A very good win for real-life Al Mirola in Talladega last week, but putting him a lap down in NASCAR Racing 2003 season. And yeah, it looks like they're going 2 wide in front of us, possibly 3. The lap cars are sticking their nose in there, and I don't like that a bit. Now they're going to be really slow. It looks like the 21 of Paul Menard has been into the wall earlier. He may have been involved in that lap 1 crash. Let's get under the 96 of Kennington and maybe the 43 of Bubba. Indeed, and around the 47, picking him up and laying him down. Unfortunately, this is putting a lot of extra undue stress on the tire that perhaps Brandon will not have. We'll get under the 22 of Logano, and we should be able to settle in for a few more laps without having to worry about driving too awful hard. We'll just stay in our rhythm and wait for the pit stops to happen. Looks like the RCR cars are in front of us, the 3 of Austin Dillon, the 31 of Ryan Newman, and it does look like they're coming to pit road this time. Either that or these are the slowest AI possible, and indeed, peeling off of pit road, there's a group there. Newman and Blaney stay out on the track, and Blaney needs to have an amazing run this race if he is to advance to the next round. But if he's back here fighting with Ryan Newman, I do not believe that is going to be a thing. Brandon has worked his way right under Newman. Here comes the 12. Brandon gets a good run, and Ryan Blaney kills our momentum. We'll go to the high side. Brandon's going to drive it in deep into 3. And Brandon will take the lead back from us. Thanks a lot, Ryan Blaney. All right, so we'll settle in. Looks like pit stops are going to be cycling through. We should be back on the lead lap shortly. And then it's only a matter of time. So this should be the race for the lead. I don't see Denny Hamlin beating us off of pit road here. We should be able to sail fairly well, and then perhaps even they decided to take 2 tires because we were not behind the 11 or the 20 when pit stops began. So we're going to have 4 fresh tires. All right, so the 11, oh, Denny! Okay, so Denny decides to turn right and not give us a line. That is going to take us out of contention late in the race here. Thanks a lot, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin delivers frickin' punishment, putting us in the wall. I don't think we're going to be able to catch him. We'll drive as hard as we can, but I don't think a win is in our cards now. We were within shouting distance, and I don't know if our tires would have been good enough. We did have to cut through lap traffic quite a bit. We'll see if we can gain on him a bit through here. We do have a few laps to go. Everyone's on pit road coming off here. There's the 78 of Truex still in the chase, although he had a lot of regular season points and wins. So, you know, he was almost a guaranteed lock each and every round. It's going to be interesting when we get into the round of 8, when it comes down to possibly 3 different winners in points. You know, who's going to be the highest point totaler? Himself and William Byron are pretty close in the grand scheme of things. So I don't think we caught Brandon that lap. We did have to get around lap traffic coming off pit road. Brandon's still driving in pretty deep. You can see the sparks coming off of his corner in the middle of 1 and 2. And unless these lap cars really give him some trouble, I don't think we'll be able to catch him here. We'll do what we can. If he has to go around lap cars on the outside and we can click off some laps on the bottom, we might chip away at it, get within striking distance. And then, of course, if there is a yellow, that may change everything. But for now, we're going to go as hard as we can. And it doesn't look like any lap traffic is going to pose much of a problem for Brandon from here on out. There's only 2 cars in front of him, really. And they're pretty single file, not wanting to race. And in fact, I think that one's the 32 of De Benedetto, who was damaged in an earlier crash. And speaking of which, we got a a car with a missing rear clip. Looks like a exposed fuel cell. Not sure if that's safe to race with, but we'll see if we can put him another lap down here, the 51. And yeah, Brandon's around the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, and it looks like clear sailing. The tires are really starting to give up, washing up the racetrack tremendously, trying to get around that lap car. Yeah, certainly our car is not as good as it was at the start of the run. It's good enough to get around to Benedetto, but I'm not entirely sure it's good enough to catch Brandon, not at the gap that he has here. White flag is in the air. One more lap to go. We can catch Jimmy, and it doesn't look like Brandon is going to catch that car in front of him. So unless Brandon has a tire failure or catastrophic engine kaboom, I think this is pretty much where we're sitting. And I don't like that gray on the back of Jimmy Johnson's car. It looks like the rear tire is exposed from that corner. I don't know, maybe it's just an optical illusion. But what isn't an illusion is Brandon will take his second win this round. So this round is swept by both of us. 2 wins for Brandon and 1 win for me. We'll come home second place, not too awful bad. Let's take a look at the other chase drivers here and see how they fared. So Brandon first, myself second. Chase Elliott, who was in the playoffs in the first round, finishes third. That's too bad. Kyle Busch does finish fifth. A good points day for Kyle Busch. Brad Keselowski with a solid 6th. Kevin Harvick with a 7th. Looks like an 8th for Kyle Larson. 9th for Martin Truex Jr. Clint Bowyer rounds out the top 10. William Byron in 11th. Daniel Suarez in 14th. Ryan Blaney in 17th. Let's see, who else was in the chase? McMurray finishes 19th. Where in the world? Logano 23rd. That's no good. So yeah, not good at all for those chase drivers there. And let's see what happened at lap 1, shall we? Let's see what brought out that first caution of the day. Is our lap counter not working? Well, it should be. Come on now. All right, so we know the Benedetto was in it, the 32. Let's go ahead and play and watch into turn 1 and see what happens here. De Benedetto on the gas. There's the 51 who did have that damage from the missing rear bumper. Let's see what happens. There was a little shimmy. Wow. Okay, let's dissect exactly what happened. It happened at the 51 back there. I guess De Benedetto missed a shift or a gearbox or something. What in the world happened there? I really don't know. Menard involved, the 43 involved, and the 51. Spinning around. So I'm not sure, but it looks like a car doesn't get going on the top. And then the 96 is slow. The 38 is peaking. There is sort of a bump there. The 51 of Timmy Hill goes down and gets away with it scot-free. But in the back, mayhem. So the 43 and the 21. So the 43 was hanging back on the start. I don't know what lane he was supposed to be in. Yeah, the inside groove gets a massive jump. Someone in the outside doesn't get going. So Bubba will look to the inside, get under the 47, and I think the 47 decides to go around. No, the 21 just turns left. The 21 of Paul Menard just turns left and slams into the wall, taking Bubba Wallace with him. So an interesting crash indeed. Let's take a look at the standings after Kansas. The round of 8 has been set. Brandon and myself were locked in from our wins earlier. Truex, Byron, Larson, Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Suarez will go on to Martinsville, Texas, and Phoenix to determine the championship 4. Keselowski misses by 20 points, Blaney by 23, McMurray by 26, and Logano by 30. So I think the best 8 cars did make it by a pretty large margin. And it's exciting to see. Martinsville is a short track. Anything can happen there, and if one of us 8 win Martinsville, we are guaranteed a shot at Homestead. which is all you can ask for. This is what we've been looking forward to all year. But that's going to do it for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you for the first race in the round of 8 at Martinsville next week. Take care.